So we all know that Legend of Zelda mega super popular. You had Breath of the Wild that did numbers. You have Tears of the Kingdom out right now that it will most likely be Game of the Year, if not at least a strong Game of the Year contender. And I want to really talk about my feelings about the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, because while I haven't played Tears of the Kingdom yet, I have played Breath of the Wild. There was always one thing about that series I was just like, it's holding it back. And that's Link, the main character. I wouldn't even go so far as to say character, the main avatar, because we don't know anything about Link as a character, right? And in the older games, sure, it was no dialogue, at least no spoken dialogue, so you could kind of get away with him not responding to moments or whatever, right? Strong, silent type, cool, chill, whatever. But the world they've been crafting, starting with Breath of the Wild and now Tears of the Kingdom, there is this sense of like bigger stakes. The world's much more dramatic and yet also a bit more somber. I would love to have Link respond to people like a normal person would, who's capable of speech, and engage with them. Because now I get a bigger disconnect between him and the characters than I ever have. Like playing Breath of the Wild, right? There are scenes where he's talking to like Urbosa. She's talking about how do you feel about Zelda and whatever. She's like spilling her guts on how she cares about them so much, and you just see Link just. And then she goes something like, "Oh, your silence says everything."
I should have expected as much from the princess's own appointed knight. She was out on a survey all day today. Still as the sands now. So, spill it, boy. Have the two of you been getting along all right? It's okay, I know. Your silence speaks volumes.
And then you have, what's the bird guy's name? Like Rito? And how he's like, haha, Link, you're such a jerk, you're so cocky and arrogant. But I'm like, he says nothing and does nothing. Does he only speak when we're not looking? Because it looks weird that these characters have such a relation to him.
Feel free to thank me now. Or, never mind, just go.
The Zora girl who was like in love with him, who's like this unrequited love. I'm like, what do you love about this man? Like he just does things that we make him do. He outside of us, what do we know about Link? Nothing.
If anyone ever tries to do you harm, then I will heal you. No matter when or how bad the wound, I hope you know that I will always protect you. Once this whole thing is over, maybe things can go back to how they used to be when we were young. You know, perhaps we could spend some time together.
Literally wakes up after 100 years. He's the Queen's champion. Okay, cool. But like, what about him as a character? We're getting so much development of other characters, especially Zelda, which finally, Jesus Christ, maybe we can actually play her one game that's made by Nintendo. But we're getting so much about Zelda, we know nothing about Link. Hell, even Ganon gets more and more and more characterization than Link does. We're playing as him. We're just going around doing stuff because we're told to do things. Or it's just he's an avatar. But he's not really a character. And I think they could really honestly fix that by just giving him a voice actor. We're beyond the point where it's like, oh my god, it's sacrilege to get them voice acted. Final Fantasy had no voice acting, got some voice acting, a little bit rough. And now we have voice actors for Cloud and Sephiroth, two characters we thought untouchable when it comes to voice acting in the Final Fantasy fandom. Voice acting, having a voice actor adds so much more depth and layers to a character because then we get to actually see who they are as a person. I've never liked the idea of, oh, they're supposed to be assigned to you to project yourself onto them. Link is a blonde-haired elf boy with blue eyes and swords and shit. I'm not going to relate to him. And I can't relate to him because I have nothing to relate to. I don't project myself onto him. He's not like this character you make in an MMO. You know, that's different. He is supposed to be a living, breathing character who has a life, who does things. And those things are typically interrupted by Ganon being evil. But we never get a sense of that. So I feel like if we were able to just, I don't know, finally have him have voice acting, again, in a Nintendo game, not the Wanda Gamelan bullshit, and he would feel so much more a part of the world they're trying to build. But there's such a separation now. He truly feels more and more like a game character / avatar than an actual character living in a living, breathing world, which does the world a disservice. Because again, I like the direction they're going in with the new Zelda. This is probably going to be their kind of go-to for the next couple of games, because it's so refreshing. It's doing big numbers again. But Link holds it back for me. When there's dramatic scenes and everyone's giving their all and the voice actors are putting their effort into it, and it just takes me out. It just takes me out. But that's me. What do you guys think?